Today in this 2016 Jeep Patriot, we'll be having a look at and showing you how to install the Curt Class 2 Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number C12057. Here's what our hitch looks like installed. Now what's great about this hitch is that it's completely hidden behind our rear fascia. The only part you'll see sticking out is the Class 2 1.25" receiver itself. Now because this is a Class 2 hitch, even though it is an 1.25" hitch, we do have the ability to use cargo carriers with it. A Class 1 1.25" hitch, you wouldn't have the ability to use many cargo carriers with it because they aren't rated for the weight. On the side of our hitch, you'll find our industry standard 1/2" diameter hitch pin hole to secure any of our hitch mounted accessories. The pin and clip is included with this hitch. Welded onto the bottom of our receiver are our tubular steel safety chain loops to attach the safety chains from our trailer. At the back of our receiver, we have this nice collar that's welded on to help reinforce our opening and give us a nice finished look. This hitch features a 300-pound max tongue weight rating, which is the amount forcing down, and a 3,500-pound max gross trailer weight rating, which is the amount it can pull. You want to make sure you consult with the owner's manual of your Patriot and not exceed what the vehicle is rated for. Go by whichever number is less. Now if you are going to be using this hitch for a bike rack or a cargo carrier, Curt does recommend the use of a stabilization strap, which we have available on our website to help support the load. Now for a few measurements to better assist you in choosing any hitch mounted accessory you may need, such as a ball mount, bike rack, or a cargo carrier. You're looking at about 14 inches from the ground to the top of the receiver opening, and about 6 inches from the center of the hitch pin hole to the rearmost part of the back bumper. Now that we've gone over some features, we'll show you how to get it installed. To begin our install, we'll find ourselves in our wheel well where our fascia meets our fender liner. Now in our wheel well, we'll find 3 7mm screws that we need to remove. Now keep in mind, everything that we do on one side of the vehicle, we'll need to repeat on the other side. Now we have a plastic trim panel fastener that we need to remove. The way this works, there's a notch in it. You can get a flathead screwdriver in the notch and start to pry out the center section. Once it pries out a little bit, if you have a trim panel tool, you can get underneath the center section and work it out even further. Then you can go underneath the whole fastener, pry it out. We have another one of those fasteners at the bottom edge of our fascia. Now we can grab our fender liner and pull it away from the fascia. Now the next step is to lower our exhaust. But in order to prevent damage to the exhaust system, we're going to put a strap in place by wrapping it around our lower control arms and underneath the exhaust, and this will help support the weight as we lower it. Now our exhaust is held in position by 3 hangers. We'll have one on our passenger side towards the rear of the muffler, one on the driver's side towards the front of the muffler, and then further up near the center of our vehicle we'll have our 3rd hanger. Now in order to make these easier to remove, we'll take some lubricant and spray the hangers so they slide off easier. Now we'll use a pry bar to help pry off our hangers. With our hangers removed, we can now safely lower our exhaust, resting it on our strap. Now here's a tech tip. This part's not in the instructions, but if you remove your charcoal canister on your vehicle, it's a lot easier later to tighten the hardware. The way to do this, we'll take this hose here and just pull it towards the front of the vehicle. And it'll become disconnected. These 2 hoses here, there's locking tabs on them. You press in at the top, it separates the tabs, and then you can pull it to the front off the canister. Sometimes you may need a screwdriver to help push down on the tab. So this is the top of the tab right here. When you push on it, it spreads the prongs apart so you can disconnect it off the ridge on the connector. Now we have this electrical connector here. There's a tab right here. You press on it and then pull back. Now we have a couple bolts we need to remove. Okay, here at the front of the charcoal canister, we have a 10mm nut to remove. And a 13mm nut. At the back of the canister, there's another 10mm nut to remove. Now we can grab the canister, pull down, and set it aside. Now we need to remove our exhaust heat shield. There are 4 10mm nuts that hold it in place. You can grab the heat shield, pull it down, and set it aside. Now we marked out, according to the instructions, where we need to trim. You can use a sharp utility knife to do this. I'm going to use a rotary tool because I find I have the most control. Now, at the end of our frame rails on each side of the vehicle, we'll find 2 holes. These are going to be our attachment points for our hitch. So what we'll do, we'll take one of our bolts, one of our flat washers, and we'll insert it through the outside edge of the frame rail until it's just peeking through on the inside edge. We'll do this for both locations on both sides of the vehicle. Now with an extra set of hands, we'll raise the hitch up over our exhaust and push our bolts through the hitch. And this will hold it in place. Now we'll put on our flange nuts to secure the hitch to the vehicle. Now we use a 3/4 inch socket and a wrench. We'll hold the nut still with the wrench and tighten the bolt with the socket. Now we'll torque our hardware to the amount specified in the instructions. Now we can reinstall our exhaust heat shield. Now we'll reinstall our canister. Now we can raise our exhaust back up and reinstall our hangers. Now we can remove our strap. Now we can reinstall our fender liners. And that completes our look at and installation of the Curt Class 2 Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number C12057 on this 2016.
Thanks for watching. Click the link in our description below to shop, learn more, or visit us at etrailer.com. And leave us a comment if you have any questions.